one last quick reminder, just make sure your microphones are turned on and pointed towards you as best you can. Don't push them too far away, it's avoidable, but I also want to say we got lots of stuff on the desk tonight, so do your best. And then we are ready to get going here. Any questions? Good. All right, ready to go in 3, 2. You're live.
I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Madison Fire District. It's January 17th, 2024. It is 6:50 p.m. and this is our annual reorganizational meeting. We'll do that first and then we'll roll right into the regular meeting. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Adams.
Here.
Mr. Anderson.
Here.
Mr. Donaldson.
Here.
Mr. Gontner.
Here.
Mr. Lee.
Here.
Mr. Wayman.
Here.
All right, the first thing on the agenda is it's time to pick a new chairman for 2024. That chairman should come from Madison Village this year, so I need a nomination for chairman.
I'll nominate Mr. Donaldson. Second.
Motion for Mr. Donaldson by Mr. Adams, a second by Mr. Lee. Is there any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to take over the meeting, Dan, or you want me to
I
just
can.
finish?
Whatever.
Sure. You're the chair.
Thanks. Okay, the chair will entertain a nomination for vice chairman this year, which should come from the township.
I'll nominate Mr. Wayman.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? And roll call.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we'll need a motion to set our regular fire board meetings, which currently are held the third Wednesday of each month at 7 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any discussion or comments?
Mr. Chairman, just wondering, I know on here, we sometimes do one meeting a year at Station 2, usually in the summer when it's nice. Is that the desire of the board again to do this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
That's in August, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Usually
July or
in
August
July
we
or
do when it's
August.
nice. It gives us a chance to go down there and just check out the station because we don't never get to see it very often.
Sounds good.
Okay. That was my only comment.
Okay, thank you. And roll call.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, we need a motion to establish the 11 holidays for the non-bargaining full-time employees for 2024 and are subject to notice if not taken on that day.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Any discussion? The holidays are listed on your agenda. Hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Okay, a motion is required to continue our in effect status for the following 11 points of business. Do we need these read or? Oh, looks like there's a motion for each one. So, a motion to establish the Records Committee, which is required to meet at least once a year. Members to consist of chairman, vice chairman, fire chief, fiscal officer, and district administrative assistant.
Got a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
The board requires a motion to establish an audit committee for the purpose of review of the audit procedure and actual audit reports. Committees to include chairman, vice chairman, fiscal officer, legal, and bank professionals as requested.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes. And we'll need a motion to establish a full-time Labor Management and Health Insurance Committee members to consist of 2 fire board members and fire chief. And we'll have to establish those members. Any recommendations?
I was the township representative in the past. Bob, you were the village representative, were you not?
Right.
I'm willing to sit on both the full and part-time labor management committees
And so will I.
unless one of my other colleagues want to do
That's
that.
good. Good with me. Full and part-time?
Yeah, I think we did both of them. It was a lot easier
You did.
that way.
Okay.
That's fine.
I'll make that motion to nominate Mr. Gottner and Mr. Lee.
I second.
And that is for both
Both
full
part-time
and
and...
part-time
right.
labor?
Yes, full-time and part-time labor, yes.
Apparently, we do them both.
We can do it.
Well, yeah, we can do them both, but we
It's up
gotta
to
get
you.
one motion.
Correct.
For each.
Correct. That's for the full-time.
Okay, for the full-time.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
I'll move for the part-time labor management committee.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
That would be Mr. Gottner and Mr. Lee.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
And we'll need a motion to establish the Finance Committee, including bond debt, refinancing options, investment opportunities, members to consist of 2 fire board members, fire chief, fiscal officer, and bond counsel. Meetings are scheduled as needed. We have a nomination for a motion and a nomination for 2 members.
We have on that
Yeah.
before.
Matt, you want to do it?
You want to do it, Mike?
Mr. Anderson?
So we got Mr. Anderson and who else?
Someone from the village?
Right.
Mr. Anderson and Mr. Adams.
Okay.
Adams.
The A.
They're the 2 fiscal wizards.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to nominate Mr. Anderson and Mr. Adams to the Finance Committee.
The 2 A's.
Thank you. Any further discussion or nominations?
I'll second that.
Second that. Any further discussion or nominations? Roll call, please.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
I need a board motion to establish board member pay per year for meetings to be an annual maximum of $450 per year per Ohio Revised Code 505.37.1 to be paid monthly.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
And the board will entertain a motion for all part-time and full-time district firefighters are to continue at current pay and status per contract.
I make that motion.
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
And the board will entertain a motion to establish a pay period for various classifications as of January 1, 2024, and biweekly.
Mr. Chairman, I so move to establish the pay periods for 2024.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes. Board will entertain a motion to continue with the purchase order procedure.
Yeah, that motion.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
And just a question, what does that exactly mean? Joanne, can you shed any light on that?
I just do them as blanket purchase orders, or as you guys approve them, you know, an extraordinary item, like, you know, when they purchase a fire truck or something, I enter a regular purchase order.
Okay,
That's pretty much it.
okay.
And roll call.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Thank you. The board will entertain a motion to continue in effect the Madison Fire District rules and regulations.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Need a first.
I'll make the first motion then.
Second.
You did it backwards.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Time for me to vote.
The board will entertain a motion to authorize Chief Meister to negotiate and settle EMS billing charges with insurance carriers for 2024. All settlements are to be reported at the monthly fire board meetings. Said authorization will be reviewed annually at the reorganization meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Well, I guess, are we, when was the last time that we got hit with any kind of rate increase from our, that billing organization?
Medicount.
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 Medi-count.
Medicount.
Medicount, okay.
Mr. Lee, I just received a contract for the next 4 years, literally yesterday, so it's going to end up going to Stacy here soon once we look over it, and it'll be on your plate here soon, I'm sure.
Okay, if I may, Chief?
Yeah.
Is it a fixed rate for the whole period, or increase, or what?
It's, they take a percentage of everything they collect, so the last contract was 6.625. I believe this one is it was at 6.5, say 10 years ago, and the evolution of it was it went into 6.675, I think. And now they propose a 7.25% rate, which sounds bad. It's probably about another $5,000 a year when it's all said and done.
Okay, so that 7 point, will that be for the entire, over the
Oh, yeah.
4 years?
Correct.
Okay.
To my knowledge, yeah. I haven't perused the contract yet, but yeah, that's the intent of it,
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
No problem. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes?
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, and we have 5 additional motions that are required to continue in effect and at current status with the following 5 points of business. Board will entertain a motion. Fire chief is to continue per contract terms.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Board will entertain a motion for the fiscal officer to continue in effect at $15,500 annually.
Mr. Chairman, I also make a motion to continue fiscal officer at $15,500 annually.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
And the board would entertain a motion to reappoint Stacy Dame of Stacy Dame Law Offices as Fire District Legal Counsel at a rate of $150 per hour per hour for hours exceeding 10 hours per month, and a monthly retainer of $1,200.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes. Board will entertain a motion to set the rate for special meeting notification to persons requesting same for $10 per year.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
And lastly, a motion for our administrative assistant to continue at $22 per hour.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments? Discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Board will entertain a motion to adjourn the 2024 reorganizational meeting.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned at 7:05.
We're going to roll right into the regular one then, Dan?
Yep.
Okay.
Anybody need a break?
Nope. We're good.
Ready? Okay. I will call the regular Madison Fire District meeting for January 17th, 2024 to order at 7:05 PM.
No, isn't it? You're right. I'm a year behind.
She's got the year down on this one.
Yeah.
At 23 on,
Oh, we need a roll call first.
oh, yeah.
Mr. Adams.
Here.
Mr. Anderson.
Here.
Mr. Donaldson.
Here.
Mr. Gontner.
Here.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr.
Here.
Wayman.
Here.
Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think this is the first the three township guys are together in the team. Usually we're split up.
Thank you. You should have copies of the November 15th, 2023 minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the November 15th, 2023 minutes.
Yeah, that motion.
I'll
Thank you.
second,
Thank you.
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any comments or amendments or discussion regarding those minutes? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve the December 20th, 2023 minutes.
Yeah, that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion, amendments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Abstain.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
At this point. Do we normally have Joanne review the bills at this point? I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Bills and payroll for December 2023. Ms. Clapp, do you have any comments regarding the pay ordinances?
Let's see, I'll read our bill. Our bills for December was $752,296.86. Our payroll was $400,434.61, for a total of $1,152,731.47. Some of the extraordinary things that came out for this payment for December was the new fire truck payment, the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association for the promotion and hiring of the full-time testing. You'll notice there's a JTA HVAC on there. That's for the heaters at Station 2. And then another big item was Johnson Fire for new hire helmets, hoses, and equipment for the new truck. Those are the items out of the ordinary on the bills.
Thank you. Any questions or comments regarding the pay ordinance?
No.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for approval of bills and payroll.
Thank you.
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Gauntner?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson?
Yes.
Mr. Wayman?
Yes.
Mr. Adams?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Thank you. November 2023 financial report. Ms. Clapp?
Sure. We started November with $7,240,989.28. And I'm reading from the fund summary report. The month-to-date revenue was $611,319.47. Our year-to-date revenue was $5,464,776.75. Our month-to-date expenditures was $1,345,672.92. Our year-to-date expenditures was $4,931,981.28. Our beginning balance we started December with was $6,506,635.83.
That was a November report though, right?
Right,
So there's
yeah.
been- Okay, so then you got the December, okay.
Now I have the December one next.
Okay.
You ready? You want me to go on to December?
Sure.
Okay. Again, we started December with $6,506,635.83. Our month-to-date revenue was $103,941.31. Our year-to-date revenue through the end of December was $5,568,718.06. Our month-to-date expenditures, again, for December was $1,152,731.47. Our year-to-date expenditures was $6,084,712.75. Our ending balance for December was $57,845.67. And remember, we paid the fire truck in December.
Right.
The new fire truck.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I could, Joanne, so we carry, if I understand this right, we're carrying over 5.4 million into 2024, is that what you're saying?
Correct, yes.
And some of that though is encumbered?
We only have $4,608.21 encumbered.
Okay. I guess I wasn't at last month's meeting. Last month, the board approved the appropriations for 2024, which were what, six point some million, was it? I don't have it in front of me now.
Let's see here. I think, let me pull it up.
Unfortunately, I don't have that. I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't have that in front of me. I was looking at it on the shared drive earlier today.
Correct, I had 6,239,240. I have $1,278 in capital projects.
But the total appropriation for 2024 was 6 point some million, if I recall?
$6,239,240, or $42, yes.
So that carryover, that $5 million carryover is part of that money, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So the money that was appropriated, and again, I apologize, wasn't at last month's
you're
meeting. That shows what we've appropriated. Do we have anything that breaks down what is planned for expenses yet? Or no?
I have wages and benefits in the general was $2,534,002. Our other expenditures is $654,928. We have contingency of 500, vehicles, 100,000, capital building, 15,000, and protective gear, 28,500. And then I will be transferring out of the general fund, $501,767 for the loan payment.
So we're not
And
going to,
then-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then on the EMS side, we have wages and benefits, 600,000, and then other expenses, 52,500.
So we're not going to be spending more than we're bringing in?
No, right, correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're not spending more money than we're bringing in. Have you got the estimated resources from the county auditor yet?
Yes, and what did I just do with that one? Let me find it here. I did get it from Barb.
Okay,
Yeah. We're still in the positive on that. She would have sent me back and said, you're above, but we're okay.
okay, I just want to make sure we're not spending more than we're bringing in. Okay,
And just so you know that, actually, so you have an idea, at the end of December, we should have spent 100% of our budget, and we spent 91%. So we did come 9% under of what we budgeted last year. for
yeah, I was
2023.
looking at the chief's report and the numbers at the end of that, and total revenue, if I read it right, was 4.6 million. Total expenditures were 4.1, so we only had about $542,000 cushion there at the end of the year. Is that, you concur with that?
Yes.
That's cutting it close. I mean, I'm getting a little nervous now when I see that that's our cushion, but the big thing is we were still in the black and not in the red, but we're going to have to start really watching our expenses, I think, in my opinion.
Right, and also remember, we paid for the fire truck, that was 600,000 too.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
on there.
All right. That's all I had, Joanne. Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Remember, do we have motions for approving the financial reports? Okay. One motion for both?
We don't normally do them for her report, just for
Okay.
the bills and payroll.
Great.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
one other item, we're going to need to schedule that records retention meeting here in the near future.
Okay. Okay, and with that, we'll open our first public portion. Are there any comments from online or in the audience?
No, sir, nothing online.
Thank you.
All I have.
Legal counsel, Ms. Dean.
Hello, just wanted to say thank you for the reappointment, first of all.
You're stuck with us for another year.
You're stuck with me, I guess. Second, just a reminder to everyone, per his contract, we do have to evaluate the chief. I did send around the form for the performance evaluation. Don't know if you guys want to decide on a timeline for submission so that you have to have me hounding you to get those into me and I can perform the summary calculations. But if we could do that and keep moving forward, I think probably Chief Meister would appreciate it.
Yeah. I think if we had it done by the end of the month here, get it in there, gives everybody a little bit of time. You just sent it out today.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, that's, by the end of the month, that way, we get them to you, you can get them and then have them back for us before the next.
Act on them in the February meeting?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Until then, obviously, we'll need an executive session at the February meeting so that we can review it and have discussions.
Okay,
Okay.
Sound good? That's all I have?
that's it. Thank you. With that, we go into old business, resolution number 24-01, authorization to purchase extrication equipment.
Would you like me to read it?
Sure.
Okay. Resolution number 24-01 is a resolution authorizing the chief of the Madison Fire District to purchase extrication equipment from Heritage Fire Equipment in an amount not to exceed a purchase price of $49,728.00 and authorizing payments provided herein. There was an itemization provided through the invoice that shows you what equipment is being bought. And just as a reminder, This is also having the BWC grant that was received applied towards that purchase price. But we have to purchase it first, and then we'll get reimbursed.
Great, correct. Chief, any comments on?
No, this is something that Captain Fallhammer was working on, and Captain Sopko's on right now. That kind of happened very fast in December that we got approved for. And then at some point, we like to, outfit both trucks kind of the same way, so that we're buying the first set now, and then in the coming months, we'll get the second set, most likely. But in the end, it's a BWC reimbursement, and it's almost a 2-for-1 when it all shakes out at the very end.
Very nice.
Mr. Chairman, if I could ask a question. Chief, just so I understand what we're buying, this is like for, if you have a car accident or something, like, what do they call it, the jaws of
Correct.
life or whatever?
These are the
where-
jaws.
Yeah, where you would extract or spread apart the vehicle so you could extract somebody. Is that-
That's correct, yeah. This has various equipment with it, spreaders, cutters, and rams, which push dashboards away from everybody so we can clean out the area for the patient and get them out safely. So this set here we're purchasing is going to replace a set that was bought probably around 2006, 2007, the Genesis tools that will eventually surplus, and probably in the end it'll definitely be more cost effective. And I don't know how much we'll get from them, maybe 5,000 or 10,000, I don't know. But in essence, our old tools have a power pack, hoses, and a bunch of heavy tools with them that we have to, so if a car goes off of 90 into the woods, we have to carry, usually it's one person on the engine that has to carry a power unit, go back, get everything else, and then get the hoses. These basically are battery powered, they're lighter, basically grab a cutter, a spreader, one person can walk out into the woods with this, get the job done, walk back out, get the patient out. So it's definitely going to be more functional, a lot easier to carry, and just more efficient.
Time is precious, so
Yeah.
by the time you go 3 times this way, you take it all at one time.
And then, you're exhausted going uphill in
Exactly.
the winter.
Yep.
So that's why the officers made a recommendation. And with the BWC grant, it literally took what, Cap, like 3 days to get approved?
Yeah, they probably said like 8 to 12 weeks a year back.
Yeah.
I pushed it up to 2 weeks, and then 4 days later, I got approval. I'm like, okay.
Cool.
And it's almost $40,000 in grant money, so we didn't want to let that go to waste for the community.
Yeah.
That was my next question. So really, the fire district's output's only going to be like $9,000 some dollars. Is that?
For this set, I believe it's around $12,000 and change that we're going to end up paying for that set.
Oh, it's okay. It's 40,000.
It's 40,000 in
total
grant money,
in
yeah.
grant money. Okay, I gotcha. That's all I had, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Motion.
Yeah, that motion.
I'll second. Or do you-
No, go ahead.
Any further discussion involving Resolution 24-01? Roll call, please.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson?
Yes.
Mr. Wayman?
Yes.
Mr. Adams?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Gautner?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution -24-02.
This is a resolution authorizing renewal of the district insurance plan for VFIS accident and sickness insurance coverage as recommended for the upcoming insurance year and authorizing payments for said plan. We do this every year. This year, the annual premium amount for the full-time policy is $2,511. It's a decrease of $717 from last year's premium. And then for the part-time policy, it's $2,136, a decrease of $191 from last year.
Very nice. Entertain a motion?
Mr. Chair, I so move to adopt Resolution 24-02.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion, questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Donaldson?
Yes.
Mr. Wayman?
Yes.
Mr. Adams?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Gautner?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Thank you. Chief's report. Chief Meister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to keep it light this month with everything going on, and the district's been through a lot. No anniversaries to report this month. Financial overview. Our tax revenue, we collected 108.7% of the budgeted year-to-date for December, so this is basically a year-end number. Same with EMS, we collected 111.3%. I believe, I don't have the financial in front of me, I thought it was around $730,000 or so for EMS billing. Staffing is doing better. We did some hiring last month. We continue to hire part-time. We're trying to get ahead of it. We have some people that are going to go on some leaves for various reasons, other jobs that they've gotten, changes in their lives. So we're continuing to add part-time as well to supplement our full-time staff. We do have a couple out on various injuries that hopefully probably by the end of the first quarter, maybe beginning of the second quarter, we'll be whole again, but I don't pretend to have a crystal ball, especially with the way things have gone lately. So hopefully God's kind to us. Call volume, we ended with 3,720 calls. We had 3,659, so is that about 61 runs more than last year, so we're doing okay in that aspect. Fire inspections are ongoing. They're in the folder. We did go to another reporting system, so Captain Sopko is working with our inspectors, and still we're all coming up to speed. Whenever you do these kinds of changes, as far as data management, there's always growing pains, and Captain Fallhammer's in the middle of all that, and he's doing a good job onboarding our people and just ironing out all the bugs, because we did switch from the ERS, which was a significant charge, and now we're going to something that's free to us for now. So that's going to be an evolution, I think, in the coming maybe later this year or next year. We'll see how that goes, so everybody starts buying each other up when these things happen. So stay tuned, but for now everything's going pretty well. Vehicles, the new engines, it's pretty close. I don't know if Captain Sopko, I see him on the TV there, if he wants to chime in. Sounds like everything's still on pace to come in sometime this month. Terry?
Yep, that's the game plan. By the end of the month is what they're hoping.
Very good, thank you. The new Chase, literally, Inspector Solomosi and I went out this morning and picked it up, so it's in the bay if you'd like to come check it out at the end. It's a little dirty. It was getting used today, so in this fine weather, it's hard to keep things clean, even hour to hour. But they did a really nice job. And I'll have to get with Joanne this weekend and get ready, because you guys approved that bill a while ago when we got the vehicle, so we'll get them paid. Buildings, the barn gym with Lieutenant Van Kramer's passing and everything else going on, that kind of got put to the back burner. We were focused on taking care of everybody at the last month or so. So we do have the flooring for that down there. Captain Henry picked that up, I believe, a couple days ago from Home Depot, so that'll continue on probably this week or next week with some painting and flooring, so we're getting real close. So we'll get you some nice pictures once that's done. And then Homacho tools you guys approved. The first set is now, and then the second set's going to be later on, maybe next month or the month after. We wanted to get the first set going because there's a mounting issue with the new engine. We were deciding what to do, where we're going to put our old tools in there, new tools, and of course, when you're talking, steel or diamond plate fabrication, that can get pretty costly. So we were trying to avoid doing that over again here in the coming months. So that's why we kind of moved on it pretty quick. And then kind of for the good of the district, there's nothing much else to say. It's been tough around here. The whole staff and all the support from you guys and the board and the community, the other departments, just has been fantastic. And I can't say enough about everyone's professionalism and empathy towards each other, and just taking care of Al and his family. And it was tough. So nothing else to say really. Thank you all. Great job. Just sad. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Chief.
Welcome.
With that, our second public portion. Any comments from the floor or online?
None online.
Thank you. And with that, if there's no further business, closing board comments, I'm sorry.
I just want to thank everyone, what you've done for 2023. Outstanding job. It was great working with everybody as a team. Just I hope 2024, no more problems like Van Kramer, nobody else gets sick or hurt or whatever. God bless everybody, and looking forward to the new year.
Thank you.
I have something, Mr. Chairman. I attended Lieutenant Van Kramer's funeral mass on Saturday, and I was very impressed with the mass and the service that the fire department provided at the end of the mass. It was very impressive. The outpouring of support from the fire family was very big, not just our department, but many departments surrounding our community. And I think Lieutenant Van Kramer got a good send-off there.
Yes. I agree with that, Mr. Wayman.
Thank you, Pete. Any further comments?
I just have to agree with Mr. Wayman there. Coming from the police side, and as Max knows, the fire department side is, they're very good at what they do.
Yes.
In an unfortunate situation like this, with funerals and so forth. But being a police officer, I'll tell you what, it's very moving when I attend a fireman's funeral, which we don't like to, but it is amazing how all you guys do come together. All the departments come together.
They do,
and we do too at police officers. But it's just a very unique thing, and you guys did a great job. So
right.
That's all. Thank you.
Very good. Any further board comments? Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gauntner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes. And with that, our next fire board meeting will be February 21st, 2024 at 7 p.m. And our March meeting will be March 20th, 2024 at 7 p.m. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Good job.
Good job.
I've been watching for you.